by thanking you for coming. We could not do this event without all of you, so thank you very much. So if you haven't registered, obviously there'll be a chance before you leave to register, and you can talk to your chairs. They know the information about what you need to know about your specific duties. Today we're going to go over a general things like health and safety and emergencies. There are volunteer manuals, which you'll notice at the bottom of your agenda. There is a link there where you can go and print it off yourself to help save us some money. But I do have some copies printed. But if you can print it off on your own, we would appreciate that. So again, if you need it after, you can pick up a copy. There will be copies at each volunteer station throughout the event. Also, we have these lovely posters that Kathy brought, and we have tons of them. So if you can take some and plaster them throughout your town, your villages, wherever you think, schools, anywhere where people go, and they're lovely posters, and will catch the eye because we obviously want to get people out. So again, they're at the back. On your way out, grab a bunch. We'd appreciate that. So your volunteer badges will be given out to you by your chair before, probably at the event. We'll have to figure that out yet. So you will be getting those before you get there or as you get there. We may have them at the gates so that they'll be there for you. They need to be worn whenever you're volunteering, only when you're volunteering, and that gets you in the door kind of thing. So now I would like to welcome our chair to say a few words to you, Bob Armstrong.
Thank you, Judy. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very, very much for being here this morning. And above all, thank you for volunteering your time to help us make our event successful. We can't do it without volunteers, to be frankly honest, and it takes a lot of volunteers to run the IPM, so we appreciate each and every one of you. We ask you that when you're working during our event, that you smile and treat people as cordially as you can, because you're the front line. So we want people to have the best customer experience they possibly can. So anything you could do to help. I know there's always a lot of questions. I've been talking to people this morning and have a lot of questions. All the chairs will be filling out forms for the OPA to get the passes for you, and then they will distribute them, but not today. It'll be after today, but we're trying to find out how many we need of this and that. So it's very important, and thank you for being here. I hope you learn a lot today. We're also filming it, so Sean is filming this so that we can send it out to everybody, and especially to those who can't make it this morning. But information is key, communication is key. So we need to communicate better to you, and we need to give you the information you need, and that's what we are trying to do today. I'm sure after today you'll still have lots of questions. Feel free to call me or call the chair of the event that you're volunteered under. So anyway, welcome, and thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce the president of the Ontario Plowmen's Association, Mel Switzer.
On behalf of the Ontario Plowmen's Association, I'd like to thank each and every one of you to come out today. The volunteers are very needed. You're the ones that make this match a great success. As Bob said, you're the front line, and you're the people that are going to see you first. And thank you for putting all your time in and making this a great success. And so let's be happy, do it, and work hard and make this a great success for the event and for the community of Lindsay. Thank you.
So next, I would like to invite up the Provincial Queen of the Furrow, Mal Karpenko. Did I say that right? Here she comes.
Good morning, everybody. I don't have a whole lot to say other than I'm excited to see everybody here, and I'm really excited for the next few weeks of getting to work together and spend time together at the IPM, and I'm just excited that everyone here is wanting to get involved. So look forward to seeing you throughout all the events throughout the IPM. Thanks.
Okay, next we have Linda St. Peter, who is the Director of Admin 2, which includes volunteers. So she's going to just talk about some general information that you need to know. Again, more specific information about what you're doing will be coming from your committee chairs.
Hi everyone. As Judy said, I'm Linda St. Peter. I'm looking after volunteers, all you folks. Thank you so much for coming out today. And as volunteers, you're very valued for making this event happen. As Bob said, it can't happen without the volunteers. You guys are what makes this thing happen. Okay, so everyone will get a package just prior to the event start. Everyone that's working will get a ticket per day so that gets them through the gate. So each committee is responsible for filling out a form for safety vests that you'll get and the tickets. And then they will all go to your chairperson, and that chairperson will then hand them out to you folks, because they're going to schedule you as to what day, where you're going to be working, that sort of thing, okay? Also, we're going to have, I guess, some demonstrations today or talks about some of the safety issues, fire extinguisher reviews, radios, and some of the accessibility features as well for anybody that needs accessibility accommodations. Okay, so now I guess I will hand you over to Jack Kyle. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. My name's Jack Kyle. I am chair of Tented City and co-chair, or not co-chair, vice chair of the overall match. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Tented City this morning. That's where all the exhibitors are for anybody that's new to the plowing match. And it's going to be located on the other side of the tree line. If you look to your left, on the fairgrounds. We'll be working with the facilities that are there, which is a new experience for the plowing match. There's been 104 plowing matches to date. This is 105, and this is the first one that's been on an established site that has facilities already in place that don't seem to want to move to where maybe you would have liked to have had them in the first place. So we're working with that. Hydro and water are already in place in Tented City, whereas the hydro that you see out here for our RV park, which is behind you and off to your right, has all been put in the last couple of weeks. And everywhere you see a hydro line, there's a water line underneath it. Buildings on the fairgrounds have replaced some of the tents for Tented City. What is the midway area, if you come to familiar with the fair, will be tents, and the advantage of good walkways so nobody will be losing their shoes in mud like it happened here the last time, 1992. Education, which is focused on students from all the schools in the area, will be in the coverall to the east. It's known as the show barn if you're familiar with the fair. And the agricultural exhibitors will be in the north barn, which is usually the cattle barn, and the city of Kawartha Lakes has the west coverall, which is known as the Ag Pavilion on the fairgrounds. The Commonwealth building will have quilts, lifestyles, and commercial exhibitors. So that's what's going in the existing buildings. And I should add, the horse barn will be housing the heavy horses for the plowing, and the plowing for horses will happen back towards the road on this property. I think it's likely the first time in quite a while that the horses have been housed on the IPM site. And then the rest of the area that is sort of on this side of those buildings that I've talked about will be tents and equipment displays. Visitors will come from the parking fields on the west side of Angeline, so when you turned in here for visitor parking, you would have turned the other way into that wheat field that's across the road. And then tractors and wagons will come down the laneway that you came down, make a right-hand turn just right out here and across and into the fairgrounds and to the gates in there. Exhibitors will be entering the grounds so the exhibitors will come in the normal fairground entrance, whereas all the visitors and volunteers will come in this entrance here. There's a wide variety of exhibitors, equipment, lifestyle things, food vendors, a big range, and I think we've got well over 200 exhibitors signed up at this point in time. For entertainment during the event, the Canadian Cowgirls will be on the Tuesday and Wednesday, and Ram Rodeo will be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all in front of the grandstand, which is nice to have a covered grandstand for events like that. And we've got 25 bands booked, so there'll be 2 or 3 stages going at all times, and those bands are spread out over the 5 days. There'll be lots to see and do for all visitors. As volunteers, it's our job to make it a very positive experience. Thank you.
Hi again. Okay, our next presenter is going to give you some general information from the Emergency Committee, and that's Charlie McDonald.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. What a great turnout. Looks like we're going to have really nice weather for the plowing match, if anybody's asking, because everybody told me it was going to be nice, so I'm counting on everybody's word here. Just to let you know, there's a few areas that I'm looking after, and I'll just name them, and I have certain individuals that'll come up and explain to you. So for the volunteers who that haven't come to the booths, I'm looking after traffic, which the police will be looking at the traffic on the roads. I'll be taking care of the parking. I'll be taking care of the parking, which is going to be right across the road in the farm right across here, Lloyd Walden's farm. And that's where all the parking is going to be. That's going to be the wagon and trains or tractors. And that's where all that's going to be. And we're going to take the wagons over here, everybody's going to be parking here. Nobody will be parking in here. Everybody that's coming to the show will be parking across the road. We will put them on tractors and wagons, and we're bringing them, dropping them off, and then returning and picking people back and forth all day. So that's one important factor right there. So anybody that wants to volunteer, I've got a few of them already for tractor drivers. And when I say parking, once the police and everything get everybody off the road, all you have to do is just guide them to say, just keep going, go up here to the left or the right and whatever. And when they're exiting, the police will take care of everybody. When they're leaving, we'll just control them on the field until they get out. Emergency services, I'll have somebody come up in a minute to talk about emergency services. We will have emergency services on these grounds, 2 ambulances and so on, and they will deal with anything with emergency services. I also have rapid response. So if anybody doesn't know, if there's an accident or somebody gets a flat tire on the road, DeBello's Towing will be on site here to review and be ready to react quickly, because we're going to have lots of traffic between the highway here and Angeline Street. Is going to be very, very busy, so it's very important that we control that also. So right off the bat, I'll call up Pat Toohey, retired chief person here. So come on, Pat. He's going to give us a quick example of how to do the fire extinguisher. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. I'm not going to squeeze the trigger for the first couple rows. It will be covered in yellow dust and powder, so I'm sure you won't be happy with Charlie or I. So this is just a quick demonstration or talk about the fire extinguisher. Look at the dial to make sure that the arrow is in the green. and you're ready to go. If it's not in the green, well, then you probably don't have enough of pressure within the tank to discharge the powder. So first of all, you pull the pull the pin. Okay, aim at the base of the fire. Get down as low as you can and aim at the base of the fire. Squeeze the trigger and sweep side to side. Okay? If you haven't used a fire extinguisher, we hope you don't have to, but in the case you do, pull the pin, aim, and the acronym is PASS if you want. Pull the pin, aim at the base of this fire, squeeze the trigger, and sweep side to side. Okay? All right. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Where are they located? Good question.
They'll be located everywhere. We'll have them in every area here. There's a whole bin full in there, so we'll be placing them pretty well everywhere we can. Andrew Rafton, I'll just call you up, also retired from the emergency services. He's helping with that. So if anybody's interested in the emergency service, I'll give you a quick outline. We're gonna have 2 ambulances on site here. And also we're gonna have a tent, for anybody, cuts himself or scraps their knee or whatever, but we will have 2 ambulances on site here to deal with anything that we have on site. So, Andrew?
Charlie's taking most of my thunder. Yes, so just to let you know, the Deputy Chief of Paramedic Service actually had the opportunity last year of going to the plowing match in Dufferin County and seeing firsthand what kind of situations that they would be facing back here in Kawartha Lakes. They're not expecting a huge increase in call volume. There was minimal accidents at last year's event, but they have planned for the worst. So they're gonna have a command post set up at the entrance to the Lex, and there'll be 2 fully staffed paramedics. So there'll be 4 paramedics there with vehicles and with gators as well, because obviously some of these areas will be hard to access with an ambulance. So they will have 2 gators as well. They'll have a supervisor on site, and they'll be here from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the evening. As well, they'll be in the intended city, there will be just a general first aid post for anybody with minor aches and ailments. Well, there'll be paramedics there as well to staff. And then throughout the site, there'll be public access defibrillators in case one is required. And there'll be good signage to indicate where they are. So I would suggest that when you come up to volunteer for your shift, you just get to know, where that is located, much like the fire extinguishers. Know ahead of time where those services are provided in case you have to access them. And again, if you need paramedic service, you can use the general 911 method of contacting an ambulance, or you'll be able to get to contact them with the radios that will be provided to the volunteers.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew. We also have the pleasure today to have the OPP and the Lindsay Police here today. I got the Chief Tim Tatchell and Sergeant Inspector Deb Hager. And they'll explain to you where all the traffic and how much we're gonna have and what we're gonna be doing, so.
Thanks, Charlie. For those who don't know me, my name is Tim Tatchell. I'm the detachment commander for the local OPP detachment. So our involvement mainly is going to be Highway 7. So like all of you, I was more hopeful that the construction of Highway 7 would be farther along. Unfortunately, it will not be. So what you have now is what we're going to have for the plowing match. So for the volunteers coming and anybody that you know that are coming to visit, tell them to pack their patience, because traffic is going to be a challenge. We will have officers, so like I said, and Inspector Haggerty can speak after I'm done about what the Kawartha Lakes Police Service will be doing, but we will have officers at 7 and 35, 7 and Angeline, and then we'll have a roving officer. And Charlie spoke about the quick response team. Along with the tow company, we'll have an officer that will be back and forth to try and clear up any mishaps quickly, so that I don't have to draw my other officers that could be a distance away, to keep traffic flowing. But it's going to be backed up, folks. So if you happen to be helping at parking, know that you're gonna have a lot of frustrated people. So I know it was mentioned earlier to smile, because there's gonna be a lot of frustrated people that get there. We will keep them flowing, but you will have some frustrated people showing up at the event. We will have officers doing traffic control. They will be there from 7 till 7. They may not be doing control the whole time, because once we get the main glut in at the start, 8:30, so say from 7:30 to 9:30 probably is when we're gonna have our biggest glut, then they'll stay there, but they'll let the lights do the work to keep things flowing. And then at the end of the day, and if they see it backing up throughout the day, they will get back out and clear traffic to keep it flowing. And then at the end of the day, they'll be there when people leave it, when it closes. I anticipate it'll be cleared out in the area by 6:30 anyways, and they'll be there to 7 to keep traffic flowing. Other than that, like I said, we'll be around. I'll hand it over to Inspector Haggerty, because they'll be responsible for the traffic points within the Lindsay proper. Okay.
Thanks, Tim. Hi, I'm Inspector Haggerty with the City of Kawartha Lakes Police. So as Tim mentioned, we're going to be responsible for the traffic flowing within city limits, which is basically Angeline for us and for the purposes of this event. As Tim said, I can't reiterate enough that everybody needs to pack their patience. We're experienced and we're used to it, and the more you panic, the more people are going to panic and get angry. So if you remain calm, try to communicate with people as best you can that traffic will flow, and we're going to continue to move it as quickly as we possibly can. We experience this same thing every year with the Lindsay exhibition. We know that it's eventually going to clear up, and it's usually just, as Inspector Tatchell mentioned, at the peak times, at startup and at the end of the day. So most importantly for the individuals in the parking lots, make sure you're communicating. Don't be afraid to communicate with our officers. Let them know if you're frustrated or if you're feeling like there's a problem brewing, or if you're hearing of a problem. Communicate that as early as you possibly can. We're going to have 3 officers at 3 separate traffic points, which is going to be at the main gates of the Lex, the Finney Farm, and at the Walton Farm. Those officers are going to be there from 8:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m. We're going to have a 4th officer on site who is going to be relieving those officers if necessary, but will also be available if in an emergency you need assistance. So I'll make sure that the event organizers, whoever's going to be on site each day, has the names of the officers that are going to be available to you. So 100% don't be afraid to communicate with those officers. It's going to be most important that they know what's going on. If there is an issue, or if something is happening or is about to happen, then communicate with them. But we are going to try to move traffic as quickly as we can. I suspect Charlie has already told you that other individuals, and we're trying to communicate with the members of our community at large about the event and what's going to be happening. So they're going to be aware, and hopefully that'll eliminate some frustrations as well. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and we're here. Call us anytime between now and then as well.
Thank you both. So yeah, the key thing is that getting the traffic off Angeline Street and getting in the parking lot. So we always use names around here, and I'm not sure, I'm born and raised here, so we call this the Finney Farm because that was the Finney Farm as we're growing up, so that's what everybody knows. So for the people who don't know, this is the Finney Farm, and that there is the Walden Farm. And I keep on telling people the parking is going to be over in the Walden Farm, and then this is where the RVs and so on are going to be over here. So again, very important that traffic is going to be very important because it's going to be very, very busy. For people who have signed up for parking and tractor drivers, I'm taking all their names today, and we'll have separate meetings on that. So again, thanks everybody for coming. Now, one other thing they gave me this morning was the gentleman didn't come today to show you how to use a radio, but I think it's going to be pretty easy, and I think we'll leave it to the smaller groups. These are the radios that we'll be using. The channels haven't been decided yet, so to go through how to use a radio here, I think the team leaders that every time we get anybody in their area will go through the radios to show them how they work. So I think that would be easier than trying to teach somebody how to do a radio here. But stay tuned. Make sure that before you leave that whatever you're interested in, come to the tables, give us your name, your phone number, and then we'll be contacting you very shortly. We're taking the days you want to work, which is Tuesday to Saturday in my area, whether you want to work the morning, you want to work the afternoon, or you want to work full days or all days. So we're going to leave it open to whatever people can do and have time for. So thanks again, and I really appreciate everybody coming, because without you, this would not happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie. I just want to let everyone know how fortunate we are to have the tremendous support of the city of Kawartha Lakes. Their staff, under CAO Ron Taylor, have just been excellent. We hold regular meetings with them, as you can see, from the police, the fire, everything, emergency services. So I want everybody to recognize the support that we are receiving from the city of Kawartha Lakes. I also forgot to mention at the start, one of my challenges right now is our lady that did our website and social media had to step down due to her health. And so I've been trying to keep it up to date, but I'm not very good at websites and social media. So I've been getting help from OPA, but if there happens to, even though there's 3 weeks to go, we do have a very good media campaign that the Chambers has launched and is on TV, radio, and print. But we'd like to do more social media. The city's been helping us. Kelly, through the city of Kawartha Lakes, has been doing social media for us. But if there's anybody here, or if you know somebody that could speak to me about helping me with the website and social media, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, you might have noticed if you were following along that we went a little bit out of order, but that's okay. We are going to have Elizabeth Peters come up to speak to us about accessibility and what we've done to accommodate those with special needs. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm the chair of accessibility, making sure that people with mobility devices are able to attend the plowing match. So while Charlie said everybody's going to park there, he lied. Because while almost everybody's going to park over there, people who have an accessible parking pass will be parking on the west side of the Commonwealth building. If you come to the fair, you're familiar with that area, and you will be allowed to park there. Now, if you do use a mobility device, but you're higher ability, you'll be able to park there, and there will be 2 shuttles that will be wheelchair accessible. So you'll be able to get on the wagon and come, but if you need assistance closer, you can park there. We'll also have a park and fly or kiss and fly, whatever you want to call it. So if someone is if I'm bringing Grandpa to the fair and he can't get that far, I'll be able to go and drop him off at the LEX office in that area, and he'll be able to be dropped off. Then I can park over here and come back and meet whoever I'm bringing. We will have accessible porta potties in wherever you see porta potties. There'll be a wheelchair accessible one. Homestead Oxygen will have some scooters for rent for the day. If someone wants to come and looks at the grounds and goes, I can't walk that far, they'll be able to rent a scooter if they want to. And while we love animals, you can't bring them to the plowing match unless it is a horse that is going to be there to plow, or it is a registered service animal. So there will be people who will push the limit, and that will be my job to say no. Anyone who has a service animal has official paperwork, and they have no issue with showing it. If someone's bringing Fido and says it's their service dog, unless they have the appropriate paperwork, Fido's not coming on the grounds. I will be here all the time to help with any assistance that anyone needs for accessibility, so you'll be able to contact me through the radio and I'll be able to answer your questions. Thank you.
Hi again. A few housekeeping things in regards to the badges that you will be getting. They're going to be returned to the office at the end of each shift, and for each full day of volunteering, you will receive a pass just for yourself to get into the plowing match for the next day or whatever day you would choose. Radios will be kept in the office, and you will pick up your radio if you're designated by your chairperson to need a radio, okay? And I think that's about it. We are, I'm also looking after plowing, and we've as one of the other folks said, there's going to be plowing here, and there's going to be plowing up on Highway 36. So, and my committee's been working really hard at that as well. So, nice to see you all, and hope to see you during the plowing match. Thank you.
So even though it's not on the agenda, I just wanted to open up the floor. If there's any directors or chairpersons that want to say anything, if you want, now's the time. Come ahead.
Thanks, Judy. I'm Ron Ashmore. On the committee for features, special features and special events. I first wanted to thank the volunteers, because you're the heart and soul of this organization, and the amount of hours, the sheer amount of hours you have helped us out and taken away from your business, from your jobs, from your family. That's really appreciated. So it's really a heartfelt thank you to everybody here who's been volunteering it's been this process has started actually in 2018, and I really want to thank all the volunteers. Have done an amazing job, and we're just getting down to the nitty gritty here with the match coming up in 2 weeks. So just want to give you just a brief synopsis here. So the features, the antiques, what's covered under that is antiques, education. We have great exhibits for education. Antiques, we're working on many exhibitors that are signed up to come here to bring, for example, horse-drawn plows, and older tractors, all sorts. And entertainment, I don't need to go over everything that's been looked after. Information booths, there'll be information booths, I think at least 6 booths throughout the grounds that people can ask for directions, and they're really important, these information booths. So that's a key aspect to the plowing match. Lifestyles, quilts and lounge. And Charlie Clark, who wasn't able to come here today, and he's co-chairing the special event. So the celebration of excellence, that'll be the sort of the grand dinner, the grand finale. It'll be held at the Victoria Park Armory in Lindsay on Friday, the 4th of October. So tickets are for sale right now for that. And of course, the Queen of the Furrow, the worship service will be here. And wanted to thank all the work that's going on in that. Of course, the first day, the 1st of October, will be the parade of all the VIPs, and we'll have the VIP lunch. So and also the closing ceremonies, even though they're not as elaborate, I guess, as the opening ceremonies, they're really important. So there's the passing of the flag, and I was at the one last year, and it was great. So basically, we're working. I want to thank all the volunteers that are working, all the chairs that are the heart and soul of these committees, and the volunteers. I really appreciate all you're doing, and look forward to the next to this match here coming up in the next few weeks. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Gordon Masters, and I think they forgot about the RV park because they left me off the agenda here. But anyways, this is the RV park. We've been here for the last 8 or 9 days. Hydro One has been excellent here. They had all kinds of trucks and stuff. And Gromont Group, which is building, and they own this, they're building at the corner of McDonald's there. He just said, whatever you need, Gord. So I got a bulldozer, I had a backhoe in here, I had everything, and we put it out that people could cut the trees and take the wood, just leave the brush. So then we got Scott Wagstaff, which is a good friend of mine. He has a trailer park down here, and he came in with his hoe and picked up the brush and kind of moved it around. We got a little bit of cleaning up to do yet, and I'd like to thank the volunteers. I put out a notice, and I had a lot of them come. They drove them stakes and done all the measurements in here. And for the town, they're really good. And Rodney, he called me, he's over the buses, the manager of the buses for Lindsay. They're gonna have a turnaround right up here, just the other side, that snow fence. And for anybody that's camping in here, they're gonna give free passes to you, so you can get on the bus and go wherever you like. And then they'll bring you back and drop you right off here. So the volunteers, we'll have some for you too, because they went at it, and they're giving me a bunch. I'm picking them up on Monday at a meeting. And other than that, we've got the water and the hydro here. The hydro inspector's been in twice. There's a couple of little hiccups on the hydro inspector that they're gonna rectify. Mariposa electric is been excellent. Steve Gorley, I've met with him maybe 20 times in the last 2 months, and they even give us a tractor one day. We needed a tractor to lift stuff around, and he even gave us a tractor for that. So everybody's been great, and I'd like to thank the volunteers because we couldn't do it without you. So the more the merrier, and if you want to sign up, just give me a yell, and we can get you signed up. And if you know anybody else, because we're going to need a slew of volunteers. So other than that, that's about all I got. So thanks very much for everything.
I just, again, want to remind you to go on the website. On the website, it's a beautiful website. On there, there's an actual program that's going to show you days, what's on this day, what time is it, and it's right on there, and it's great. So you'll know what's going on the day that you're here or another day that you want to go. Don't forget to pick up your posters, and please plaster them wherever you can because we want to get the word out. Your manual is going to be posted on there. It's not posted today. I think it's going to be done maybe on Monday. I'm not sure about that. I'm not the greatest with technology, so but it will be on there, and I don't think there's anything else. So thank you again for coming. We really appreciate it. It was awesome, and if you haven't already signed in, even though you're signing out, please go to the back and get yourself signed in so that your committee chair knows that you were here and they don't have to get you all this information because you've already received it. So at this point, again, I'd just like to say thank you, and any questions? The volunteer forms, that's what I want to say, sorry. The volunteer forms, we do have some manual ones, but please do it online if you can. If you know people, direct them to the website because they come right to me. And once I get them, I send them right out to the chairs, and then the chairs are going to get in touch with you. So that's the best way to do it. Give yourself a buffer of time. So if you're due to work at 2, don't show up at 5 to 2 and think you're going to get parked over here. You're best to give yourself, at least 45 minutes. Well, it won't take 45 minutes, but yeah, so keep that in mind as well. There is going to be an office. If you get here and you're not sure where you're supposed to go, there will be offices over by the Lex buildings, and there will be somebody there, myself or Linda will be there, and hopefully we can help you out, or if we can't, we'll find someone who can. Again, thank you so much for coming, and take some fruit, please. Thank you.